Well, 5th season as Binghamton's head coach. For Coach Shapiro-Ord, dealt with a lot of obstacles last year, 7 to 8 injuries that decimated her team. But right now, well, Binghamton, they're playing their best ball. They have everyone back and are primed for a great run in the America East. The Dome crowd on its feet as they do every single game, waiting for that first bucket. Dyaisha Fair to Teisha Hyman. That is a dangerous backcourt for the Cuse. Dariauna Lewis, another transfer on this team. Same with Asia Strong. Over to Rice. He drives down the lane. The floater, it rolls in. Elena Rice, fresh off a 16-point game. She gets on the board for the Cuse. Elena Rice, a starter for the first 3 games. Started only 1 game last season. Binghamton knocks down the triple. That's the redshirt freshman, Ella Wanzer.
Just talked about that 3-point shooting. If those shots fall consistently tonight, look out, Cam.
Dyaisha Fair dices inside and knocks down the deuce. Hey, Binghamton can put on the pressure on SU, but Dyaisha Fair, that's the safety blanket. Fair, a 3-year player at Buffalo, never averaged under 22 points per game. Wanzer inside. Kick out, that's Bowman. It rolls off the rim. Bowman the rebound. Pass inside, the layup with Strong right in her face, goes waywire. The Cuse a 4-3 advantage. Elena Rice takes the ball up the court. Dyaisha Fair, in a fast-paced game, throws it inside. Strong, the Wichita State transfer, turns around and is fouled on the put-up. Player Traeger called for her first foul of the day.
Got to watch out for that foul trouble as this game goes along. Bit of a depth advantage for Syracuse in this contest tonight. You mentioned Traeger. You also got Genevieve Coleman as well, who plays forward. She had 4 fouls last time she was on the floor against Army. If Traeger and Coleman get in foul trouble, that's trouble for the Bearcats tonight.
Strong misses on the first. 2 games this season now, 2 for 5 from the charity stripe. A player that's her 4th college in the last 4 years. That one's good. And for Asia Strong, enter the transfer portal. 20 minutes later, got a call from Coach Leggett Jack saying she was the missing piece to the puzzle and joined Syracuse down low. Danae Bowman, what a move. The pass outside. Around the perimeter to Coleman. Genevieve Coleman throws it away. Our officials for tonight's game: Safe Esho, Felicia Young, and Erica Harriman. For a Syracuse team that shot just 38% in the season opener against Stony Brook, but shot 51% in the next game against Colgate. Both wins, both where Syracuse put up over 70 points. Crossover Fair, inside, throws it up. And that one a bit strong, but Traeger couldn't corral. That's where Binghamton, their head coach, Bethann Shapiro-Ord, doesn't want to give up second chance opportunities. The foul is called before the shot was put up. And that's something she stressed to us earlier in the week. Now Syracuse, they're 2-0, but have been extremely successful in the offensive end. Can't allow for any offensive rebounds. Hyman tries to throw it off the back of Bowman. It doesn't work. Danae Bowman the other way. Bowman charges inside. Wanzer, all 3 of Binghamton's points today, but that layup misses. Well, for Binghamton, 17-point win over Bloomsburg University, then 15-point victory over Army. 2-0, 4th time in the last 5 years the Bearcats have started 2-0. Hyman through a defender, and the layup is pure. There's the lone starter from last year for the Cuse, commanding the offense. Then picks up the foul, her first.
That's where Hyman's at her best, going back to that offensive play where she can create for herself off the dribble and finish with that right hand. Would love to see Syracuse use more of that pick, not necessarily roll action, but offense off the pick.
Coach Leggett Jack watching on. A team in white and orange that is brand new to the Dome. Coleman, the step back is good. Genevieve Coleman, the sophomore, standing at 6 feet tall, representing the tallest player for Binghamton. Lewis, the drive. Misses off the glass. Rebound Strong. Back up with it. Lives up to her namesake. Asia Strong's up to 3 points.
That's exactly what Coach Shapiro-Ord said she wants her team not to do. Give Syracuse those second chances like that for more chances at points.
Asia Strong, last year at Wichita State, 6 rebounds per game. So far this season, 6.5 rebounds per contest. Binghamton lighting it up. Genevieve Coleman from the top of the key.
She's a special talent. If she can stretch the floor like that as the 5 in this offense, get Syracuse's bigs out of the paint, that's big.
Bryce, the spin move was hacked, and Wanzer got all ball. And it's out on Syracuse, so Binghamton takes over. For Syracuse, big win over Colgate last Thursday, 72-48. Outscored him 20-6 in the first quarter. Another 3, and Coleman knocks it through. Her second 3 of the season, and Binghamton clicking on all cylinders, up 1, almost force a turnover.
Just talked about how Coleman can stretch the floor. Look at this. Dariauna Lewis loses her wide open on the wing, and that is pure, beautiful stroke. You don't often see that from a 5 in an offense.
3-time Conference Rookie of the Week last year. The consummate big on this team. Hyman controls the offense to Kyra Wood. The transfer puts it up off the end of the backboard. Strong wrestles it away, but that's a jump ball. Claire Traeger causes it, and it's going Binghamton's way.
I think Syracuse is rushing a little bit inside the paint. Kyra Wood there, and we've seen it from Asia Strong as well. They've got the size and height advantage. Just slow it down. Work your moves.
Cassidy Roberts up top. Coleman. Hit a 3 on the last possession. Great defense from Wood. Traeger fade away, and it rims out. The Cuse looking to push. Fair. Dribble move, step back 3. It's good! Dyaisha Fair can score with the best of them, and she puts the Cuse up.
You can't even give her an inch of space. That's exactly what Ella Wanzer did, and Dyaisha Fair is going to make you pay for that just like that.
Binghamton moving quick. Coleman down low. Took too many steps. Halfway through the first quarter, Syracuse up 12-10. And for Dyaisha Fair, leads this team with 14 points per game at 18 in the opener against Stony Brook. Over 2,000 points in her career at Buffalo. And to Syracuse with the same intentions. Hyman. The handoff to Fair. Another. Misses right. It's tipped around. Coleman corrals. Genevieve Coleman's been playing basketball since she was 4. She gives it off to Bowman. Now to Cassidy Roberts. Bowman almost taken away. Driving on Fair, and then Dyaisha Fair picks it. Is fouled in transition. And as much as you can highlight Dyaisha Fair on the offensive end, she's doing it on the defensive side too.
3-point shooting for both teams, so the story of this game so far, Cam, it's keeping the Bearcats in it with Genevieve Coleman. You see the kick out here from Danae Bowman. You can't leave her open from beyond the arc, but Dyaisha Fair can do it as well. Give me some space and hit that all day long.
Steve Coleman's start of the show, the biomedical engineer getting it done with a team-high 7 points.
She's had a tall task coming into this game, defending Dariauna Lewis, Asia Strong, but she's lived up to the billing so far. Perfect 3 for 3 from the field. She's done it from 3 inside the key. Genevieve Coleman, been a pleasure to watch so far.
Enter the season shooting 35% from the field, but getting it done in the Dome. Poked out of bounds by Danae Bowman. And although she's great on the offensive end for Binghamton, also a 2-time all-conference defensive team member. Bowman, the senior. She's face guarding on the other side of Hyman. Pass back to Strong. Dyaisha Fair. Orchestrating the offense. The pick and roll. Strong drops it, and it's taken away. Traeger the other way. With Binghamton trailing by 2. Bowman with Hyman in front of her, and Teisha picks her pocket. 3-on-2, Hyman all the way with her left. Coast to coast for Teisha Hyman. The Cuse up 4.
That's vintage Teisha Hyman. You look her up on YouTube, you're going to see plays like that for 5, maybe 10 straight minutes.
Traeger on the other end, misses left. Hyman leaps up, it falls in the hands of Wanzer, she misses. Hyman the outlet, Fair, cuts inside, and it's taken away, poked out of play, Syracuse ball.
Got a track meet here, Cam, and this is what Coach Ord was worried about coming into the game. The speed of this Syracuse team. Get a rebound on one end, and the snap of a finger, maybe even quicker than that. Syracuse on the other end of the floor looking for chances and fast break.
A technical foul called. Didn't see much there, John.
I don't know, maybe... okay. Maybe the elbow, Cam? That's all I could think of. Or perhaps something with the officials conversation-wise. I didn't hear anything from over here. Let's get the word.
So a technical foul on Dyaisha Fair for some unsportsmanlike verbal behavior. Also, we like to call it just chirping at the ref. Wanzer misses the front end. The technical 2 free throws.
And Cam, that's what you can't do in this contest. Give Binghamton reasons to stay in this game for so long.
What do basketball heads say? Ball don't lie? As Dyaisha Fair doesn't give up any points on that technical, but Binghamton to take the ball. So Syracuse loses a possession. Safesh talking it over with head coach Leggett Jack. That's what Dyaisha Fair is going to bring. A lot of intensity. Coleman already with 7 points. Turns inside, the double comes. Hyman her second steal. The outlet pass. Elena Rice throws it up, and she's fouled. Wow, Teisha Hyman, she's the enforcer on the offensive end. Really good at looking down the floor.
She's a really good distributor. Up ahead to Elena Rice in double coverage. Looks like a quarterback out there appropriately here in the JMA Dome. Syracuse could have used her a couple days ago.
Teisha Hyman, she's the do-it-all player. Last year, 34 minutes a game, shot 42% from the field. Most importantly, 21 points per game in the final 7. And there's another returner, and Elena Rice, that's inserted herself into this starting role. Played 29 games a season ago, just started 1. So this season, she's already eclipsed her start total her entire career.
Kind of the 6th man for the team last year, now emerging as a starter. New role.
Makes both free throws. Led the team with 16 points in that win over Colgate last Thursday, and had 10 of those in the 3rd quarter. Energizer Bunny on offense. Syracuse brings the press. Binghamton breaks it. Bowman stops, pops, misses far. Lewis grabs the rebound. In transition, Fair, the bounce pass, Hyman. She pulls from distance, misses long. Bowman the board. That's a track meet in the Dome. Bowman finally slows it down. Up to Traeger. She lifted her foot, put it back down before dribbling the ball. The travel in the books, and Syracuse to take over.
That's why Dariauna Lewis was a 2-time HBCU All-American right there. She can defend all over the floor, not just in the key as a big.
Also a first-team, second-team All-Conference player for the grad student, rocking number 24, has the ball right now. Ira Wood. To Hyman, the pass inside. Wow, Lewis, there's that height. Misses, gets her own rebound, and follows up. And her head coach, Leggett Jack, is firing up this team. The Cuse largest lead of the game with 8. Wanzer, 3rd travel of the game for Binghamton. This Syracuse team, they can get it done from behind the arc and especially down low.
Yeah, just a big size advantage in the key there. You got Dariauna Lewis, who's 6'1", matched up with Claire Traeger. She's got about 3 inches on her, and it's just simple. Lob it up, use that height, go up and get it.
Last year, Syracuse, 2 players above 6 feet that played substantial minutes. Chrissy Carr, Alasia Stiles. This season, 5 above 6 feet tall.
It's going to come in handy, especially in ACC play, where you're going to see similar body types on the other elite teams.
Fair the stop. Great pick and roll in the finish. Back to back for Dariauna Lewis. Room service. And the Cuse up 10. Binghamton quickly the other way. The pass to Fourier, and she misses long. So Cameron Fourier in the game. Can't get the first one to go. Here comes Hyman, coast to coast, and she's fouled at the rim. Well, John, this Syracuse team, they like to move fast. That's the philosophy under head coach Felicia Leggett-Jack. Back in Leggett-Jack's time, she liked to move quick, and hey, it's translated to this year with this team.
Running the 100-meter dash both ways. Talked about Teisha Hyman and what she brings to this offense. It's the outlet passes, it's the distribution, but also, hey, she likes to get it done herself sometimes. Take it to the rack, draw some fouls, score some buckets. We've seen it all on Showcase.
Teisha Hyman, an 82% free throw shooter last year. It shows, knocks down both. Syracuse on a 10-0 run. Only 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Stifling on defense. Hyman almost had her 3rd steal. She causes a turnover. Hey, John, you said it earlier in the game. Teisha Hyman had the 5th triple-double in Syracuse program history. Almost had a quadruple-double. She causes a turnover and takes it herself on the offensive side. Fair tries a triple. Misses long. Coleman the board.
It's a good board.
And it's something Binghamton needs. The advantage in the height departments for Syracuse. If Coleman can get down there, that's good news. The fake. Fourier drops it. Another turnover for Binghamton. That's up to 9. Hey, when you have, or almost have, more turnovers than you do points, that's not a recipe for success.
No, and it's uncharacteristic for Binghamton, Cam, because they're -6 in turnover margin right now. They're leading the America East entering this game over 6 in the plus category in turnover margin.
Hyman off the screen. To the other end for Fair, the spin, and misses long. Wood the rebound, fouled, counted. Height is showing. Kyra Wood heads to the line to try to cap off the old-fashioned three-point play.
Kyra Wood, 6'3", and, well, you see it on film right there. Going through 2 Binghamton defenders to secure that board and then finish through the contact. Takes a lot of skill.
It misses. Binghamton corrals. Megan Casey, the freshman. The drive. It's blocked for a second, somehow spins off the rim. Rice the rebound. Up ahead to Hyman, it's stolen away. Under 30 seconds to go here in the first quarter. The spin from Welts. Knocked out by Wood. A lot of smiles from Coach Leggett-Jack. She's talking up with her bench, ready to get a substitute in.
Substitution to the orange, number 3, Daniel Wilson, checking into the lineup.
Cam, the reason why she's smiling is because she's a defensive coach, and Syracuse has forced 9 turnovers already in this contest. Gotta love that.
On a 15-0 run. Coleman, another one. Missed short. Rebound off the hands of Fourier. Syracuse can hold for the final shot. Nia Wilson in the game for Syracuse, first time today. Oh, Fair. She puts it up after it was knocked out of her hands. Misses short. All Syracuse, 15-0 run for SU.
The Orange averaging 75 points per game, and hey, on pace to surpass that so far, getting contributions from everybody. Teisha Hyman leading the team with 6 points in that first quarter, getting it done at the rack. Syracuse also out-rebounding Binghamton, showing a lot of offensive prowess early on.
Athlete at Syracuse to have her jersey retired. Played at Syracuse from 85 to 89. 1985 Big East Freshman of the Year. Led the team to its first ever Big East title as well. And now she's coaching on the sidelines. It's been a long-winded journey here, and Coach Jack has recruited a team that includes Asia Strong as it rolls in and out. And she's done a great job. Syracuse 2-0 with 2 big-time wins. Megan Casey tries from the opposite side and cans it. The freshman gets on the score sheet. And Binghamton, first bucket in over 6 minutes.
That shuts down what was a 15-0 run for Syracuse to close that first quarter from that 6-minute mark.
Nia Wilson inserted at the end of the first quarter. Elena Rice, 4 points today. Turns around, almost travels. There's Lewis, the jumper, misses short. That play clock winding down. Crossover by Welts. Traeger from distance, got it! And Binghamton red hot from three-point range to start this second quarter.
There's that distance shooting we expected, Cam. 46% as a team, tops in the America East Conference. Only a matter of time before those shots start to find nylon.
5 seniors, 7 newcomers, a lot of new on this Binghamton team. But they're finally meshing. Wilson to the rack. Rolls off the rim, the rebound and the putback. Dariauna Lewis once again, she's up to 6.
Unless you're willing to trade threes for 2 all night if you're Binghamton, which is very tough to do, especially with a 10-point lead right now. You got to do better with the rebounding. It's been all Syracuse down there.
Bowman, the up and under misses. Fair in transition to Wilson. Back to Fair. Good passing. Wilson to Jay. It's in. And for Nia Wilson, averaging 1.5 points per game through the first 2, gets on the board. Another turnover, the 10th for Binghamton. And there's Fair, wide open to the rim. Defense to offense, and the Cuse up 14.
It's just fun to watch or what? This team has so much chemistry, Cam. It's like when they force a turnover, they know exactly where to go, where the outlet pass is for points.
Just crazy because this team for Syracuse comprised of a lot of transfers. The floater, and Megan Casey's up to 5. Bit of juice off the bench for Binghamton. Fair misses the trailer. Traeger, one-on-one, stops from the elbow, misses short. Rice, the only one there for the rebound. Knocked down in the foul. Hey, for Binghamton, had 2 players that scored entering the second quarter. And Megan Casey's been a jitterbug off the bench.
And Binghamton's needed that because it's really been all Genevieve Coleman early on. So she's coming into this contest, hitting a couple of shots. I thought that may have been a good opportunity for Coach Shapiro Ord to take a timeout, but Casey says, no, keep it. We need to take it right now.
For a Binghamton team that dressed only 8 players heading into conference play last year, large part due to injuries, finally have everyone back and healthy. They can run up and down the floor. Fair, face guarded by Welts, the freshman. Good stutter step. Outside to Wilson, crosses over to the rack and scores. Wow, Nia Wilson didn't see a lot of playing time last year, up to 4 points. Casey tries on the other end and misses. Lewis the board. Dariauna Lewis had 10 rebounds in that win over Colgate last week. Fair kickstarting the offense, and Lewis knocked down.
Bearcats personal foul number 5, Megan Casey. Her first personal team foul number 2.
Megan Casey's first foul for the 5'9" freshman. For Binghamton, up to 7 personal fouls, very aggressive. Hyman the crossover. Oh, it's an offensive foul called on Asia Strong. That just couples with aggressiveness, trying to get around the screen, and you draw it on Strong.
That's a physical game, and Coach Felicia Leggett-Jack prides her team on that, but Syracuse has shown patches of clean play where it's, playing as a team, it's jointed, you know where things are going. Then there's also times they got those turnovers like that.
Casey tries another, misses short. The rebound, the putback by Delicato, newly inserted into this game, and she misses. Hyman with numbers, over to Wilson. 4 points on the day, the stutter step, the pass, and the finish. Oh, does Nia Wilson look electric, and Dariauna Lewis with a team-high 8.
Elena Rice, right now, the team favorite for most improved player, but Nia Wilson's got a case for that, too.
Traeger the J. And the rim, not the front of the Bearcats right now. Syracuse up 16. Fair to slow things down for a Cuse team that scores around 54% of its points in the paint. Done a lot of that today, over 20 points in the paint tonight.
As expected coming in with that advantage.
Wow. Great look and strong finishes, and this team is just toying with the Bearcats defense.
Can't make it that easy.
Asia Strong had all day. Great pressure by Hyman. A bit too high for Bowman. Lewis knocks it away. And for Dariauna Lewis, we've talked about her achievements. First team all-conference, second team all-conference. For a couple years at Alabama A&M, was an All-American. Scored over 1,300 points in her college career so far. The pull-up J is true. Danae Bowman, first time we're mentioning her name. The star player on this team. Well, a crossover, step back by Lewis. That's a center getting it done from the outside. Fair, she wants the three, misses long. Strong attacks and is fouled. So a foul on Asia Strong, but it's all Syracuse up 16 with 4:54 to go in the second quarter, and the Cuse firing on all cylinders.
Just like they were in the first quarter, Cam, a 16-point advantage for the Cuse. We'll see if they can keep it going after the break.
Took a while.
Lead for the Cuse halfway through the second quarter. Back in our Newhouse studios, the Will Henschel. I'm Calvin Cristoforo. Will Orange getting it done down low.
It's a really strong game for Syracuse, and that's highlighted by a 15-0 run for over 6 minutes earlier in the game. Syracuse has shown flashes of brilliance.
We'll hit on that at the half and a whole lot more when we have the halftime report here on ACC Network Extra. We go back to the Dome with Cam and John for the remainder of the first half.
Calvin, Will, all Cuse so far. With John Eads, I'm Cameron, he's there. The Orange lead 36-20. Big reason why. 26 points in the paint, and they're mitigating the stars for Binghamton.
That's right. Danae Bowman has just 2 points on 1 of 4 shooting from the floor, and Jaden Welts, no points, only taking 1 shot in 10 minutes.
And Welts, 2 games in double figures in the opening 2 contests for the Bearcats. Hyman, slow dribble, the pull-up, a little bit of contact, but missed short. Might have been blocked. Outlet to Bowman down the floor. Good double. Here's the pass. The fake. Oh, this Syracuse defense stifling. Bowman blocked away. Lewis the rejection. Here comes Hyman. Up ahead to Fair, the contact, and she's fouled going up. Foul on Jaden Welts, her second.
Dariauna Lewis leads the team in blocks, and it led to this opportunity for Dyaisha Fair in transition. She's done that so many times today. Just 3 points for Syracuse.
That's a Syracuse team. Last year ranked last in the conference in block shots. Fair's first free throw is good. So far this season, now 4 for 5 from the charity stripe. But Buffalo, where Coach Leggett Jack coached, was first in blocks in their conference. Fair and 3 other players coming over with Coach Leggett Jack and revitalizing the Syracuse program after a down year, 11-18, first year under 500 in 15 seasons. Bowman drives on Rice. Back pass, the triple, and O'Connor nails it. Shannon O'Connor, the Bryant transfer, knocks it through, and Binghamton showing some signs of life, but they have to get it done on the defensive end.
It's the first 3 of the season for O'Connor, but yeah, you said it, Cam. You can hit threes all you want on the left side. You got to come to play on the right.
A lot of movement. Rice behind her back, and she's tripped up. Megan Casey, the foul, that's her second.
And watch out for the foul trouble. 11 as a team right now for Binghamton, and 8 different players with at least 1. Who doesn't have one, though? Genevieve Coleman, the one true 5 for this team. If she can continue to stay out of foul trouble, that'll be big going forward in this contest.
Danae Bowman checks out of this game, the do-it-all player for this team. For Elena Rice, she's been the do-it-all player this season. Rolls in the first free throw. And if you notice, Elena Rice wears her headband with the Nike emblem upside down. Said she always does it. Maybe a little good luck thing. Flick of the wrist, and it's good. Syracuse up 17.
Yeah, Rice definitely has some swagger. Over 107,000 followers on TikTok too, Cam. So she knows what she likes to do, and she's got her own little persona.
John, you a TikTok dancer?
No, I just stick to the video games. Nope.
I respect it.
Nobody wants to see that.
You gotta stay in your chair. You might boogie a little bit if you stand up. That shot way too long off the fingertips of O'Connor. Hyman comes away, and Fair saves a steal. Stutter step, floater, off the backboard too strong. Casey the board. Megan Casey pushing the pace. Bearcats with the numbers. Wanzer moved her feet. The rebound by Coleman, and it can't go up. Fight for the rebound, and Lewis lobbying for it. On the ground with Corinne Banis. That's 5'10 Banis against 6'1 grad student Lewis.
No shot is easy in the paint against Syracuse. Look at this. Hands up everywhere. Every shot getting contested. And Syracuse plays with an edge of physicality that you just can't buy. It's what Felicia Leggett-Jack instills in this team on a day-to-day basis. Dariauna Lewis just living proof of that on that play.
Dariauna Lewis, one of the 10 new players on the Syracuse team, actually called for the foul. Hey, she's the type of player that will take it.
She'll take that foul all day, and you'll take that if you're Coach FLJ, too. You love to see your team playing with that kind of intensity in Game 3.
Lewis leads the ACC in rebounds through 2 games. Wanzer the J. It misses. Oh, good rebound by Sanaya Wilson, who just entered this game, one of 4 Buffalo transfers. Fair, her Buffalo teammate, now in orange. To Wilson. Turns around, the foul. Counter with the bucket. A little Kareem Abdul-Jabbar-esque with those goggles. And Sanaya Wilson a chance to put Syracuse up 20.
Nice feed inside, locating that mismatch. Got the size advantage, nice pivot, and beautiful finish with the right hand off the window. That's there all day long if Syracuse wants it.
Another thing that's there all day for Syracuse, Dariauna Lewis at 6'1 exits. Kyra Wood enters at 6'3.
That's the depth that Syracuse can take advantage of today and all season long. They didn't have that last year at the big positions.
Wilson misses on that free throw. Syracuse up 19, nearing the end of the first half. Wanzer the triple. Off the iron. Elena Rice wants to push. The bounce pass, Fair, off her wrong foot, and she scores. Now, Dyaisha Fair can do it in every facet of the game, especially in transition.
Cam, that's a tough shot. The reason why she makes those is because she practices them before the game even happens. The shots you're not supposed to make, the ones that you just do for fun like that.
Dyaisha Fair up to 11 points. Wanzer trying to answer, can't do so. Rebound O'Connor. Little jumper. Delicato can't make it. The foul on this end. Hey, if Binghamton's doing anything right, they're creating second chance opportunities, which is odd to say when you take into account the height discrepancy. Wanzer the freshman. Banis. He misses short. Syracuse players collide, and Wanzer has a chance. That'll be a 4th chance opportunity. It might be 5. Binghamton corralling those offensive rebounds. But Syracuse takes over under 2 minutes left in the second quarter.
The body's flying everywhere, but all smiles around the court. Coach Felicia Leggett-Jack with a little smile. Lena Rice and Dyaisha Fair, collided on that last rebound. Both were going at it at the same time, but SU ends up getting the ball. Just a funny moment.
Now Kennedy Perkins, number 1, enters the game. The freshman guard standing at 5'6" from Bolingbrook, Illinois. Fair slices and dices and scores. That is ridiculous, and Fair's up to 13. Fourier to the corner with Banis, who just missed a 3. Throws it into the backcourt. That wasn't tipped. Syracuse takes over. 8-0 run in the last 2 minutes plus, and that complements the 15-0 run Syracuse had to end the first quarter.
2 separate stretches where Syracuse has really dominated to boost out to this 23-point lead in the second quarter.
And Dyaisha Fair has already eclipsed her total against Colgate last week, and that was in 4 quarters. Rice unloads the triple. Misses short. Wilson fights for the rebound. We'll see which direction it is. It'll stay Syracuse basketball. Hey, you got to credit Binghamton. They're fighting down low. Cameron Fourier, the daughter of a 2-time Super Bowl champ, Christian Fourier. She was fighting with Sanaya Wilson, and now they reversed the call. So it's Fourier that gets the ball back for Binghamton.
That's where that effort comes in handy. You fight for that rebound, maybe you get that call. They do.
On a long in the game, number 2 in green. She has the ball. First time we're mentioning her today. Pass inside. Bowman, it rolls off. And there's been a lid on the rim on some of those jumpers.
Especially for Bowman. She's now 1 for 6 from the field.
Dyaisha Fair hasn't been missing a lot. 13 points, that leads the team. Rice behind her back. She's in the paint. Back to Fair. Inside the paint, a wild shot from Rice. Bowman, 3-on-2. Stops at the free throw line, hesitates, and it's off back rim. Now Bowman's 1 for 7. Perkins the other way. The freshman up with it, and she scores. Kennedy Perkins, 7 points on the season. Had 5 points in that win over Colgate last week, asserts herself in the first half of this one. 15 seconds until the halftime break. Bowman, star player on this team, 1 for 7 from the field. Now down to 8 seconds. Into the paint. Casey the 3. Misses short. 1.2 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Syracuse up by 25. A team that dominated Colgate 72-48 last week. Season opener led 79-56 at the final buzzer against Stony Brook. And entering the halftime break, SU up 48-23. Now it's a Bearcats team that fought, and they fought even more. This is why they're Syracuse. 2-0 and looking to make it 3-0. Binghamton, they've been okay offensively. Syracuse, even better. SU up 25. Any advice necessary to broadcasters that want to be like him one day? A really cool sight to see. Right now, 24 is the lucky number for Syracuse. 24 points in the first quarter and the second quarter, and the Cuse up 48-23. Dyaisha Fair leads this team with 13 points. Feeds it off to Elena Rice. Dices inside and scoops it through. Hey, Elena Rice is inserting herself as the number 2 or 3 option on this team after being the 6th man last year.
Team high 16 points in Syracuse's last game. She's halfway to that mark here.
For Binghamton, they've relied on number 44, Genevieve Coleman, leads the team with 7 points. Bowman, it fumbles off her foot, and then off of Asia Strong, who, well, she looks confused, didn't think it went off of her. Binghamton regains possession. Inbound to Coleman. Traeger from distance, banks it in. Hey, if Binghamton has any prayer in them, they'll need those threes to fall. Fair moving quickly off the outlet pass. Hyman, what a move. But it rolls off. Wow. Hey, Teisha Hyman, she's shifty.
She's got great rhythm, too. She practices that move probably 100 times a day, you'd bet. It's just so clean, and it just looks like she puts so much work into that.
For a player that looks so good with her movement, Wanzer dices inside, misses long. For Teisha Hyman, 2 ACL tears, both in her right and left knees. Has looked really good moving laterally. Last season, leading the team in points with 16 a game, and this season. Crossover to the hoop, and she's fouled. Danae Bowman with the foul, her second.
Yeah, Hyman moves well laterally, north, south, east, west, doesn't matter, all over the floor, Cam. Just when you think of a basketball player, she certainly just checks all the boxes in any and every aspect of basketball.
She's had quite the story at the line, shooting 2. misses the front end of the 2 free throws. Tore ACL back in 2017, 1 basket shy of 2,000 career points on her mom's birthday back in high school. She ended up breaking the school record, getting over 2,000. Misses both free throws, strong there for the rebound, but has looked great for Syracuse in her return after tearing her other ACL back in 2020. That's what's so cool about this Syracuse team. Head coach Legette Jack at the helm. You're bringing a lot of players that have been able to mesh with each other, and you put them around pieces like Elena Rice and Teisha Hyman.
You still need that strong foundation that knows Syracuse.
Wow, well, there's a strong foundation from the block. Dariauna Lewis up to double figures. She has 10.
Been very impressive. 44th career double-double in the last matchup, on her way there tonight.
10 points, 8 rebounds for Lewis. Great defense by Hyman. Bowman gets out of it and then throws it off the arm of Rice.
Well, she's been shut down, hasn't she, Bowman? Just 2 points, 1 of 7 from the floor, 3 turnovers to 4 assists. Just hasn't looked like herself.
And John, entering this game, the 2 to highlight, number 12, Claire Traeger, and number 1, Danae Bowman, a combined 5 points after putting up 31 in their last win. Good ball movement. Wanzer, great move. The kick out. And Cassidy Roberts knocks it through. A pure jumper from 15. And Binghamton up to 28 points, but staring 52 right in the face. The defense just not there for the Bearcats. Fair off a screen, through her legs. Lewis wants the jumper, and she's blocked from behind. Coleman, good eyes. Ball's on the ground. Rice takes away from Traeger, goes to the hoop, and misses off the underside of the backboard. Hyman the putback, no. Strong, and Syracuse, they like second, third, and fourth chance opportunities better than any team in the country. All smiles from Asia Strong as she heads to the line.
That's why the scoreboard reads what it does right now. 10 second chance points in this contest for Syracuse, and the Orange are dominating in the paint, Cam. No answers all night long from Binghamton, and what you can't teach, what you can't coach, is intensity, enthusiasm, and a will to win a one-on-one battle. Syracuse did that 3 different times there.
And it started with the will to win the recruiting battle for Felicia Legette Jack. Asia Strong, that final puzzle piece, as I mentioned earlier in this game. Strong had over 140 schools looking at her during her week-long stint in the transfer portal. She chooses Syracuse. Knocks down both free throws. And for Asia Strong, enter the game 50% from the charity stripe. And so far in this one, she's 3 for 4. Coleman up top. Syracuse in a zone, it proves wonders. Binghamton swings the ball around a bit too quick, and Syracuse takes advantage. And now Coach Shapiro Ord, she has a lot of questions to answer.
This doesn't look like the same Bearcats team we saw in the first 2 games. Now 13 turnovers for Binghamton. Mentioned it before, they're usually +6 in that turnover margin per game, and today -6.
Rice on the wing. Crossover dribble on Wanzer, goes up with contact. Foul is called. Foul came from the weak side. Jaden Welts entered the playing field down there in the restricted area, but the call is on Ella Wanzer, her second.
And 15 team fouls for Binghamton. Cassidy Roberts has 4 herself, so someone that's in deep foul trouble.
And that's a player in Cassidy Roberts that might not be an offensive weapon, but she plays nearly 25 minutes a game, did so last season. One of 5 seniors on this Bearcats team. For Elena Rice, misses the front and back ends for a player also in her senior year. Quick dribble drive. Wanzer, got it. Hey, it's a Binghamton team that was 2 for 10 in the first win, but 9 for 14 from 3-point range in the last win over Army.
That's what's kept the Bearcats getting some kind of offensive production at least. Syracuse just falling asleep. There's that zone defense again, and Wanzer getting open in the seam.
A big adjustment for Syracuse in the second half. The dump down pass, Strong misses. Rice attacked it, but Binghamton to come up with it. Syracuse up by 23, but Binghamton still fighting. The pass to Wanzer. Just hit a 3 on the last possession. Bowman to an open Traeger. She wants 3, and way short. Outlet pass. Fair is smiling all the way down the floor. The pass to Hyman. Wow! Gotta love it for Syracuse. A backcourt of destiny in Teisha Hyman and Dyaisha Fair. And the Cuse go up 25.
Cam, I looked at Dyaisha Fair as soon as she passed that ball. She had a very sly smile on her face. She knew exactly where that basketball was going next.
That's a player that did so many good things at a mid-major in Buffalo. Shot put up by Traeger, misses everything. Bryce the board. Just bringing that to Syracuse. Syracuse still moving quick. Strong to Jay. Misses way long. Oh, Fair and Rice are pressuring. Head coach Felicia Leggett-Jack was watching that ball all the way through. I think she wanted to pick it up and maybe take a shot.
Syracuse is up 25, and she still wants the ball. Just a true competitor as a player decades ago and now a coach.
John, that's one thing I've noticed out of Coach Leggett-Jack. She's bouncing all over the floor. I mean, there's a coach's box, and she's not abiding by it. Not breaking any of the coach's box rules, but
hey, it's Coach Boeheim Court. They might need to bend those rules a little bit.
Yeah, there's a reason Coach Leggett-Jack has her jersey in the rafters. The 3 from Welts, short. And Binghamton, after Wanzer hit a 3, they've missed 3 straight. Fair wants it. And why not 13 points? From way long, misses short. Hyman the board, up and in. Well, Dyaisha Fair will count that one as an assist off the rim. Hyman cleans things up.
Inexcusable for Binghamton, too. You least expect Hyman at 5'8" to get there.
And you got to expect Wanzer hitting triples. She has 2 threes in this quarter alone, but Syracuse quick the other way. Hyman all net. And Teisha Hyman up to 10 points.
Only had 6 in the last time she was on the floor. Kind of struggled. Did have 7 assists, so facilitated, but didn't really find her stroke.
A travel on Coleman before she got the shot off. Make it 12 for Teisha Hyman. Back-to-back made buckets for Teisha Hyman. Syracuse up 60-34 and a lot of fun in the Dome.
42 points in the paint for Syracuse and having some fun too. Dyaisha Fair to Teisha Hyman. All Cuse inside the JMA Dome.
It took a while to get up here. We started out around 1959.
Syracuse so far, and Binghamton and their head coach, Bethann Shapiro-Ord, watching on. SU up big, 60-34. And Coach Shapiro-Ord has a great story revolving around her father. Bruce Shapiro, also known as Murph. He was the athletic director at Monroe Community College, which was a big reason why Coach Shapiro-Ord wanted to come back to the Northeast to coach Binghamton. Unfortunately, he had Alzheimer's and at the age of 83 passed away. But hey, Murph Shapiro carries on the legacy of what Coach Shapiro-Ord is trying to do at Binghamton. As Syracuse, another easy layup up 62-34. Binghamton quickly the other way. Blocked out of bounds as Jaden Welch was going to the rack. Another thing to add about Bruce Shapiro, the dad of Binghamton head coach Bethann Shapiro-Ord, he was a Big East official as well, as the threes knocked down by Ella Wanzer. And maybe the mention of Bruce Shapiro is adding a little life to this Binghamton team. That's the 9th 3 for the Bearcats. Teisha Hyman up top. Hyman with 12 points. That's tied for second on the team. Lewis also with 10. She gets inside, the contact and the finish. And she's talking her talk. Heading to the free throw line for that old-fashioned three-point play.
Following the last win that Syracuse had over Colgate, Cam, she said, if nothing else, I know I'm going to be able to rebound the basketball if the offense isn't going. Well, the offense is going tonight for Dariauna Lewis. Now 14 points on 7 of 11 shooting with those 8 rebounds. A true dual threat player and an absolute weapon for Syracuse. I think Von Reed would have killed to have her on his team last season here at SU.
6'1", plays like 6'7" as a junior at Alabama A&M. Second in the nation in rebounds per game at 13. She could score 2. And the Dome fans getting excited. Free tacos for Syracuse got to 65.
All right.
There you go. Oh, Welch, what a move to the hoop. And just a bit too strong. Too much mustard, but gets it back, and the lefty floater no good. Traeger the follow. And this Binghamton team, they're fighting, especially down low. Bowman scoops it up. Hyman, as she put her hands back, knowing she applied a little bit of contact to Bowman, called for the shove.
Kim, it's as hard to score a bucket in the paint against Syracuse right now as it is if you're playing on a Nerf hoop in your hallway when there's no room, limited space, just clogging up everything, constricting every chance.
Whether it be man-to-man or zone, Traeger from deep. A rebound, Lewis. Outlet pass to Dyaisha Fair. Couple crossovers, pass inside to Wood. Ball still floating around on the ground. It's going to stay here. Kick ball on Traeger. Syracuse, they're keeping a lot of the game in the paint, outscoring Binghamton in the paint 46-6. I'll say that one more time, 46-6 in the paint. Here's another try. Lewis to Wood, stolen away. Welts, the redshirt freshman, crosses over coast to coast and sent to the ground. Dariauna Lewis knows how to stuff the stat sheet. 15 points, 9 rebounds, and how about block number 3? An emphatic blow.
Well, it's taco time, and it's a block party for Dariauna Lewis, doing it on both ends of the floor.
And as Lewis and the rest of this crowd were celebrating, an outlet pass to Dyaisha Fair that went out of bounds, so Binghamton to take over. Syracuse with 7 blocks. A reminder, this team bottom in the ACC last year in blocks per game. Welts, rushing on 2, throws it inside to Bowman, it's stolen away. Low pass to Hyman, 2 on 2. Fair, the 3, long. Welch the other way to Casey. Good move. The floater off the glass, and she's fouled coming down. Kyra Wood, the guilty party. It's her first. Yeah, I will say, Jaden Welts in her first 2 games, 10 points, 15 points after missing all of last year due to a medical redshirt. She's pushing the pace, finding her teammates like Megan Casey, who was one of the newcomers as a freshman, and Casey's up to 6 points.
I'll tell you what, Cam, Coach Shapiro Ord can certainly recruit. You mentioned the double figure she had in the first 2 games. Last player to do that, Monty Watkins back in 2014.
And that's the program's all-time leading scorer. Welts the good move, but lost it for a second. Collision on the floor, and the possession arrow is pointing the Bearcats' way. And you talk about recruiting, Coach Shapiro Ord entered this program July of 2018 with a completely new slate. No coaching staff, had to recruit all on her own. One of the players, Bowman, the other, Casey, fires from distance and misses to the right. He's done a great job bringing this program up for nothing.
Well, there's a reason why employees are paid thousands of dollars in the recruiting department, assistant coaches. She was doing all of that herself for an entire summer. That's hard to do.
Wow, Dyaisha Fair through the contact. That's why she's going to be paid one day. Puts her hand toward the ground and says, "You're too little for me." And Dyaisha Fair is up to 15 points.
That's ironic, Cam, because she's only 5'5". Everybody's bigger than her, but it's hard over height for her.
Casey kick out pass. Welts, good move, but stepped on the end line.
Number 11.
Minute 24 to go in the 3rd quarter. All Syracuse. Corinne Bannis checks in the game. Only 7 minutes on the season entering this one today. Bowman gets a little bit of a rest.
Well, Syracuse is ready for her. Just 2 points today.
And they're ready right out of the break. Wow, Dariauna Lewis with the contact, and she's up to 17 points. That's a team high, and can make it 18 with this free throw.
just cherry picking. And Teisha Hyman doing what she does best, locating her. And the finish through the contact, that is elite. Not too bad for an HBCU transfer. She can play on the biggest stage of college women's basketball.
10 points in 22 of 29 games last season. Now, you might think she's tall and she can command the paint. Don't forget a season high or a career high at 32 points. It's lost off the hands of Fourier. We've seen that a few times from the freshman. Bit of jitters here in the Dome. I mean, the recruiting has been phenomenal for Syracuse. You bring in a couple 6-footers and those that can do it on both ends of the floor. That's what makes Syracuse so dynamic. Fair with the left, stops the floater a bit too long, but gets her own rebound. Oh, wow, she gets in there with such precision. And Dyaisha Fair is up to 17. Syracuse, a 71-38 lead. Dyaisha Fair, double figures in her first 3 games in orange. That pass a bit too high to Casey. She retains. Casey floats it up. It rolls out. Under 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. This ball, wow, it almost came near us. I was about to leap over the stanchion.
I was ready to get you, don't worry.
Thank you, John. Dyaisha Fair holds for the final shot. 17 points on her day. Her career high in orange is 18. 6 seconds. The pass to Hyman. At the elbow, turns around, puts it up, and it rolls in. And a picture-perfect way to end the third quarter. Syracuse 73, Binghamton 38, and the Orange clicking on all cylinders and meshing well together. Fourth quarter action when we return here in the Dome.
Took a while to get up here.
Syracuse did not have last year. She could command in the paint defensively, cherry pick it open offensively. Big reason why Syracuse led 40-8 in the paint against Colgate. They're doing the same thing, dominating in the key tonight, and that's why the Cuse has a huge lead entering the fourth.
Lewis, a well-deserved break because she's watching her team now in the key. Asia Strong puts it up, and it rolls off the rim. Binghamton takes over. Yeah, Dariauna Lewis, 15 points, 4 blocks, 16 rebounds in that opening season win against Stony Brook. Followed it up, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks against Colgate. You want to stuff the stat sheet? Just call on Dariauna Lewis. A bounce on the shot. Woo, that's nice. From Shannon O'Connor, the Bryant transfer. And Syracuse still moving quick. A leg kick, a drive, Fair. Can't find the bottom of the net, but she's fouled and heads to the stripe for 2.
She wants some more highlight reel plays, but going back to Dariauna Lewis, in double figures, 22 of 29 games last year at Alabama A&M. 2 for 2 so far, now making 3 for 3 with 17 tonight. Mentioned it before, just a player that Syracuse didn't have on its roster last year, and you feel like if they did have her, they would have been a much more complete team, because last year it seemed like this team lived and died with the 3-ball. This year it's all about working inside out.
Well, and Alasia Stiles was not really a true 5 last year, although she was 6'3", had more of a build of a 3 or a 4, liked to stretch the floor. And now you have Dariauna Lewis, you have Asia Strong, and hey, these players are true 4s and 5s at any program around the country that choose to transfer to Syracuse. Big reason why Coach Felicia Leggett-Jack, and she's done a great job building this Syracuse program up from what seemed like nothing last season.
Well, I think about Louisville and its roster last year. Liz Dixon, Olivia Cochran, 2 elite bigs. SU had no players to match up with them.
Cameron Fourier on the score sheet for the first time today. I mean, you can point out the best bigs in the game. Liz Kitley over at Virginia Tech. She's doing some great things. Preseason ACC Player of the Year. As much as the conference is 3 heavy, as Hyman drives inside with the offhand and misses short. Hey, to be 6 feet or above in the ACC, it's pivotal. You need it, and it showed with Syracuse going 11-18 last year, 4-14 in ACC play. Just were dominated down low.
You've talked about the jigsaw puzzle of this team, too, and Lewis being the piece that was under the couch that you couldn't find. That's why this team can improve big time this year.
Binghamton stays with it. Fourier, the jumper, banks it in. Foul and 1. Cameron Fourier, some freshman early season jitters, lost a few balls out of bounds, but hey, finding her stride here in the second half.
Coach Shapiro Ord says she's a tough kid, definitely gets that from her father, and giving this team good minutes. So a true freshman recruited by Coach Ord that's done some good things early on.
Her father, Christian, played 10 seasons in the NFL, the New England Patriots, an 04 and 05 Super Bowl champion, was born in Foxborough, makes sense. Hyman dives to the cup, the floater off her back foot, it misses, and a travel before that ball could get outletted to Shannon O'Connor. So Corinne Banis hands the ball back to Syracuse. Sanaya Wilson in the paint, spins around toward the cup and scores. Hey, Georgia Woolley over on the bench. She's flexing her muscles, saying, hey, Sanaya Wilson did that at Buffalo. She's doing it at Syracuse.
Got the glasses on, too. She's a technician in the paint, Cam.
Banis misses. And that's someone you can bring off the bench.
Those moves will work any day of the week.
So lethal. The ball already inside the three-point line. Asia Strong with some finesse, but misses long. Wilson the board out to Kennedy Perkins, and she's fouled. On a long, the guilty party, her first. You could talk time and time again about Syracuse and the newcomers, but hey, Chrissy Carr off to Arkansas, Chrislyn Carr at Louisville. That's going to be one team in the Louisville Cardinals. Priscilla Williams over at South Florida, Juliana Walker at Seattle, Jayla Thornton, George Washington, Ebony Walker, Ohio State. The players that left were integral pieces in what seemed like a good season from the jump for Syracuse last year, fumbled as of late, and Perkins is one of the new faces trying to revitalize this program, and she does on the second try. Hey, we'll talk about it time and time again. You got a bench presence, too.
Perkins, a player that led her high school, Bolingbrook, in scoring each of her 4 years in high school. So another player that can score at high levels and come in off the bench this year for Cuse potentially.
Nia Wilson, it's on the floor and it rolls off the hands of Lexi McNabb. Yes, you're hearing that last name right. The daughter of Donovan McNabb, who played on the football team, also played basketball under Jim Boeheim for 2 seasons. Her mother, Raquel, played basketball for the Orange too under Felicia Leggett-Jack as an assistant coach in the 90s.
Lexi can make a name for herself too.
Yeah, family affair. Banis misses from the free throw line, but a rebound for long. Ava Irvin set to check in. First time we're talking about her today. Good crossover by O'Connor. She's lost in space. Corner triple. Casey knocks it through. Hey, Megan Casey, a freshman standing at 5'9", is carrying the load for this team. Binghamton still trails 79-48. It's been all Syracuse. Wilson on the stop. McNabb. Crossover dribble. Wilson with the left. Blocked away. That's the Buffalo transfer, Kaylon Wilson, that starts the break. Long turnaround, Jay, yeah. And for the freshman, Anna Long, her first points of the night. Now we keep going back and forth. You'd think this game was still in the first quarter. Sanaya Wilson follows through, and Syracuse above 80 for the first time this season.
How about the confidence from Wilson to go back to that left hand on a play where she just was blocked on?
Syracuse, 3 big-time wins if they're able to close this one out. Casey misses way short. And Kennedy Perkins on the outlet. She finds Wilson. The layup is good. For Nia Wilson, 6 points for her. Perkins causes the turnover. Hey, this is the bench unit for Syracuse. Wilson to the cup. This place was about to explode if Nia Wilson followed through with that layup, but she heads to the line trying to up her point total to 8.
It's just scary, Cam. There's no drop-off no matter who you put in the game, and the reason why is the core values that Felicia Leggett-Jack's instilled in this program. You didn't see this kind of collective team effort game in, game out last year. The energy, the intensity, the love for each other. Everybody's up on their feet, engaged in the game. The backups are making plays. This is their chance to prove themselves and get some minutes early on in this season. They're taking full advantage. Top to bottom, this roster, so talented. So bought in.
Offensive rebound off the missed free throw. Wilson with her left. Another rebound. And Sanaya Wilson is fouled. Syracuse has played 10 players. 9 of them have scored. You're right, up and down the roster. This is a complete team. And now player number 11 checks in, Ava Irvin.
And on top of the scoring, you've got 7 different players that have played at least 14 minutes. So you're building up some solid depth, especially that big position with Dariauna Lewis. We've seen a lot of Kyra Wood, Asia Strong. And you know the perimeter players are going to bring it game in, game out.
Coach Leggett Jack always tells her team, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Well, from the get-go, Syracuse was ready for this one. They were ready for the first 2 games of the season. Largest lead of the game, 35. Wilson misses the back end. I mean, after that win over Colgate last week, FLJ said, hey, proud of how the team started, and they're maturing before my eyes and long to the hoop. And this Binghamton team is maturing in front of everyone's eyes from the first half to here in the second.
Anna Long, not exactly a player we expected to have a big impact in this game, but how about this? True freshman, why not? Go through 3 Syracuse defenders and score. Show them what you could do.
Well, step through from Long. 3-point play. She got it from Miamisburg, Ohio. Syracuse still up by a whopping 32. Irvin trying to get on the score sheet. Dumps it off strong. McNabb wide open. Misses Long.
Cam, can you think of a possession where Syracuse worked the shot clock like down below 5 seconds?
There was probably once this game back in the first half when Binghamton played their best defensive set. But yeah, you're right. I mean, this orange team, they pinpointed every strength of their offense, and it starts with passing it around and finding their shot. Irvin takes it away. Ava Irvin all the way to the basket, the contact, and she's fouled. So Ava Irvin trying to get in the scoring party. Syracuse, it's been a party all night long. 85-53 over upstate New York foe Binghamton. 5 minutes left to go in the fourth. That's December 20th, 10:30 a.m.
Getting the West Coast treatment, Cam.
I love it.
How's that feel for you?
Hey, it feels great. The weather doesn't. I mean, you head outside the dome and the weather's dropped to around 32, 33. And for a California native like myself, that's a change.
You know what that signals, though?
Well, that's a signal.
Basketball season, baby.
That's correct. Another rebound for Syracuse. Asia Strong not giving up. Syracuse 85 points. That's a season high. Wood, cross-court pass. Here's Irvin. 5 seconds to shoot. Back to McNabb. She has to create her own shot. To Wood. Ball's on the ground. Shot clock winds down to zeros, but Binghamton, the outlet pass before it got to zeros. O'Connor, oh, she's tunneled inside. 3 seconds. I mean, this Syracuse team just doesn't give up from starting whistle to last whistle, up by 32 points if my math treats me right, and they still get back on the defensive end.
It's like hockey, but on hardwood, the way they back check.
Hey, you brought up hockey to just bring up ice again. Okay, you don't have to remind the West Coaster it's cold.
Damn, I'm just rubbing it in, man. A long winter ahead.
Hey, I have my coat. That's all good. I had to figure out what a coat was a couple of years ago. The shot from Perkins goes long. O'Connor wasn't looking. Now she does. Now looking for her shot. Goes for the tray and misses. And it's knocked out of play.
I think I jinxed Syracuse a couple possessions ago because they had a near shot clock violation there for what seems like the first time all night. Again, just speaks to the facilitation and the ball movement and the chemistry this team has. And we've said it over and over again. It's like a broken record. Nuts because this roster just so new, so novel to each other. But 3 games in, look like they're all best friends. They've been playing for years.
Yeah, 10 new players, transfers from Wichita State, Buffalo, Alabama A&M. It's Kyra Wood, one of those transfers, 1 of 4 from Buffalo. And you're right, this team has had so much time to mesh in the preseason, and it's showing. Irvin loses it. And then you mesh that with Ava Irvin, Nia Wilson, Elena Rice, Teisha Hyman, the returners, as the floater rolls in for Binghamton. And all of a sudden, you're looking at a Syracuse team that is completely different than it had been over the last couple of years. Over the past 3 seasons, 34 different players have worn orange for this women's basketball team.
3 coaches too, right?
Yeah. It's knocked off the hands of Elena Delicato. For the first time today, entering the game is Ella Okubasu from Toronto, Canada. First time she's playing this season, with Syracuse up 30. A rip through in the drive. A foul before Wood moved her pivot foot. O'Connor can't believe it. So 2:49 to go in the fourth quarter. And for Syracuse, you look ahead to Thursday. LIU comes to the Dome, Long Island University. And at this point, Syracuse is trying to conquer the Empire State.
That's right, and they got UAlbany coming up too next month, like we talked about. But it's all in preparation for Penn State, and that's the pre-Big Ten ACC Challenge game, which will actually come against Purdue on the road. That's going to be a great litmus test to really see how good Syracuse is, because the Orange did the same thing last year. Started out the season with some nice blowout wins over lower-ranked teams. Then they played Notre Dame and got blown out. So it's going to be very interesting to see how SU does against the Nittany Lions, a team that's also 2-0 thus far.
When you play the Nittany Lions in Happy Valley, you're going to Purdue. So that's also a great test if you're Syracuse. Playing on the road as Asia Strong gets a round of applause. Her final stat line, 7 points, 5 rebounds, but did a lot. That was off the score sheet, clogged up the paint.
Talking about road games, 2-7 last year with Syracuse.
Right. I mean, and that's been the struggle for Syracuse, not just last year, but the years dating back to that 2015 national championship runner-up run for SU. Since then, road contests have been really tough. And head coach Felicia Legette-Jack said earlier in the week that, you know, getting adjusted to these dome lights and the depth of field, that's been difficult. Now you have to go on the road. Good move by Perkins, and she bakes it home. Syracuse searching for 90.
Well, what's funny, Cam, is I think Syracuse might actually benefit from playing on the road because of the dome. It's just such a different atmosphere, the depth perception, the lights. That's why Syracuse is really struggling from 3, according to its coach, Felicia Legette-Jack.
And that was entering this game, a Syracuse team shooting 7 of 36. That's 19% from distance entering this ball game. That's second to last in the conference. Of course, only just 2 games in. And this game, 1 for 7, but the refrain shown by SU to dissect the paint rather than just relying too much on the 3-point shot has been really impressive.
I think that's what's been important. Syracuse knows it's struggled with the 3 and instead has gone inside.
And how about Ella Okubasu with her first collegiate points? Yeah, and if Syracuse can find that healthy medium, you find your 3-point shot thanks to Teisha Hyman and even players like Cheyenne McEvans, who we didn't see today, but she was cleared after tearing her ACL back in January. All of a sudden, you have a complete team. Lexi McNabb gets on the score sheet. And now that's everyone but Ava Irvin that scored today. My guess is on the ensuing offensive possession for the Cuse, they're going to get Ava Irvin the ball, number 10 in white and orange.
90 spot for the Cuse. And going back to our discussion about 3-point shooting, no Georgia Woolley today either. Another good 3-point shooter coming in from Buffalo.
It was the conference freshman of the year at Buffalo. They bring over a lot of talent from a mid-major to play at a Power 5 school. You need them on the floor. That depth is so important for SU. Fourier into contact in the body of Wilson. She misses. Here's Ava Irvin. If she scores, everyone Syracuse has played will be on the score sheet today. But instead, SU with under a minute to go, and Kennedy Perkins pulls things out. There, in and out dribble with the left and misses Wood. So close to the rebound. Under a minute to go, and Syracuse well on its way to handing Binghamton its first loss, and SU advancing to 3-0. For Syracuse, like I mentioned, that next game on Thursday against LIU. We'll have that one here on ACC Network Extra. Lexi McNabb dribbling things out. A 1-second differential between the game and the shot clock. And how about the Cuse today? 10 players score. Here's McNabb pushing to the hoop and one. Flex your muscles, Lexi McNabb. And the Cuse up to 92 points.
Well, it's in the family name. You just got to make plays inside the dome. Through the contact, using the bank, windows open, even after 9 o'clock on a Monday.
A lot like her mom, Raquel. You talk time and time again about Donovan McNabb. Well, Raquel played for Felicia Leggett-Jack, and now Lexi McNabb is looking back on her mom and saying, hey, I'm doing the same, but Leggett-Jack is the head coach of SU.
Cameron Fournier at the line for 2 shots.
Couple formalities for Binghamton.
This is a good Bearcats team, Cam. I know big deficit in this contest and final second's going to take away, but a lot of young features for this team. A lot of young freshmen that can really carry this team.
Fourier, Binghamton up to 59, but outlasted by Syracuse's 92. A 33-point victory for the Cuse, and the Orange are clicking on all cylinders with a massive win to improve to 3-0. From start to finish for Syracuse, Binghamton falls to 2-1, and now Syracuse preps for the second game of the week against LIU on Thursday. 90